BrooklynBlues.org.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was there a church life? Were you in the choir?
Well, I remember first hearing music when I don't want to tell my age, maybe that was that other person, but when I was a little girl and my aunties and cousin and stuff would pick cotton in a cotton field, and then they would sing, like spirituals and some kind of harmony and everything. And so I first heard the music there, and then more so in the church on Sundays, when they would
Wow.
do that, harmonize and carrying on.
So your folks was into agriculture, which is one of our main functions, at least at one time.
Yes, at the time they picked cotton and probably did some other kind of field work, but primarily in my hometown it was cotton.
What is your memory? Excuse me. What are your memories of that time outside of just hearing the Field Hollers and call and response type songs, if you remember?
Well, primarily when I lived there, I would say my parents and myself, everything was white and colored. The fountains were colored and white, and the theater was primarily white on the bottom, and black folks who could come in perhaps and sit in the balcony. And my strongest memory is when my mom had a toothache and she had to go to the colored dentist in the back. So primary was that, but it was a lot of what I liked about it, and I think when I first got introduced to the blues, is the gentleman that raised me, I called him Daddy, but everybody else in the house, but actually he was my cousin, and he would work hard in the field. Actually, he worked in the sawmill, but everybody else worked in the field. And he would work hard all week long, but when Friday came, it was time to ball.
That's right.
So they all went down to the bottom, and they danced hard, and they bought 25-cent shots of liquor and 50-cent shots of liquor, and they went to the bottom, and they just danced and, slow drag, and what is it, I forget the thing, the strut when you go back and all this kind of thing. I forget the thing. But as they worked hard, they played hard too. And that's when I first heard that music. And they all were extremely happy, and those are my fondest memories.
Wow. I'm doing a series called The Blues Narrative, which is, I don't want to say based off of, but birthed from the slave narrative that lives at the Library of Congress right now, and a few entries that I've read, which is it's based on the first-hand accounts of former slaves, right? And the few accounts that I've read share similar stories, right? So it's almost as if this is the foundation of not only just American music, but our tradition and culture in terms of lace your boots up, nose to the grind, hard work, but make sure you have that other time.
Right, exactly.
Right? And would it be safe to say a lot of the music that came out of those experiences were not just social songs in regards to making a point or a stand, but entertaining, funny, fun, kind of lighten,
Uplifting songs as well.
Okay, I hear that. So now, when did you start singing?
Well, I want to believe that I start singing in those cotton fields that day. When the elders were out picking cotton, I would be under the tree with the other kids until the dew dried. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
My grandma used to say that.
Right. You stay there till the dew dried, and I would hear them, and I would try to sing as well in my little girl voice. So I believe I started singing when at that age, maybe 5 or 6, and then I'd go home and sing in the fan, like other the kid did at that time. And
I think every kid did that except for the kids now.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
my
well,
kids do that.
oh they do.
Yeah, because that sound, something about that sound.
Right, you hear it. So, as a little girl, when I was 12, I left my hometown of Georgia and I moved to Boston. And so I sang in the choir there and all that kinds of stuff. So I would say I started singing at like that early age at 5 or something.